So this hero monster is actually pretty good. It seems like they were taking note. Maybe they've been watching a little bit of Swolelax, maybe some Konami executive was like, this Swolelax guy, he's pretty cute, and may I say classically handsome? Like, is that weird to say? His words, not mine. And, he probably took down some notes about what I said about evil heroes. Now, I'm only speculating. Yo, what's up, boys and girls? SwoleTrain here, and I'm back at it again in the video. Something over today. Y'all already know what we're about to talk about today. I don't even need to say it, but we're going to anyways. In the great words of Benjamin Tennyson, it's hero time. In my head, that sounded a lot better. So earlier this week, Konami announced a new hero for Duels Pack 22 in the form of an evil hero. That's right, evil hero Malicious Bane is coming to Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, just like everyone else, I was scrolling on my phone on Twitter when I saw the news broke. I immediately clicked the link and I saw the name and I was like, evil hero? But why? At first, I thought it might have been a mistake. I'm like, E-hero, okay, elemental hero, of course. Or maybe it's a translation mistake. Maybe they really do mean destiny hero. But no, sure enough, it is actually evil hero. Konami has finally dug deep and has been giving hero players what they have finally been asking for. Or rather, let me rephrase that, what they've kind of been asking for. Because in our dire time of need, he's not the hero we need, but he's definitely the hero we deserve. Out from the shadows, we have evil hero Malicious Bane, which I'm gonna be honest, I actually like quite a bit. But before we move on, let's go ahead and read this card, see what it does, and see how it is, and then we'll unpack everything that it has to hold. Evil hero Malicious Bane is a dark level 8 Fiend Fusion effect monster, which reads, must be special summoned with Dark Fusion. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot declare attacks for the rest of this turn except with hero monsters. Also destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible with attack less than or equal to this card's, and if you do, this card gains 200 attack for each monster destroyed. You can only use the effect of evil hero Malicious Bane once per turn. It also has 3,000 attack and a large booty of 3,000 defense. Outside of the obvious flaws, playing evil heroes, there's actually a lot of really good things about this card. In fact, the last 2 fusion monsters we've gotten have been pretty decent. Not to say that dominance is anything spectacular, but we'll get into a moment what I really think of what the design of this card really means for heroes going forward, because there's actually quite a big implication here with evil hero Malicious Bane. Please respond in the comments down below how many times I say evil hero Malicious Bane inside this video, because I'm sure by now evil hero Malicious Bane has been said at least 13 times. I could be wrong. So the good stuff with this card. First things first, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So this one's actually really funny. So I didn't actually notice that one until significantly later. I was on a live stream and I was testing out with this card and I was like, oh my god, it didn't get destroyed whenever something hit it or like a Raigeki. I can't remember, it was some destruction effect. And then I reread the card and obviously Yu-Gi-Oh players can't read. But I was like, Pog champ, we're in there. Which is obviously super great. The protection effect is actually really big for a few reasons, but the number one is that it adds an extra layer to this card that other hero cards don't have. Sure, you have cards like Dominance and Absolute Zero, which have effects when they leave the field, but unfortunately with cards like Dark Law and some of the other hero boss monsters, you don't necessarily get that big of utility out of them because they don't necessarily have either protection effect, negation effect, or anything defensive. Sure, cards like Wonder Driver recycle cards out of your graveyard, but the arrows suck. You guys might already have seen my thoughts on Cross Crusader, but it is still not the best. But with this card, it's really interesting that they gave it the protection effect not only during the battle phase, but also during the main phase. And this is important to note because generally heroes have only had effects that affect the battle phase. And where that's all fine and dandy, I believe this is a step in the right direction. It had to come from evil heroes, but hey, some sacrifices have to be made. Another really great thing with this card is it's very much like Brave Neos. If you guys are not familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, Brave Neos has been everywhere. I just recently posted my King of Games Neos hero deck profile, which you guys can check out in the links down below. Brave Neos summoning condition requires 1 elemental hero Neos and a level 4 or lower effect monster. This is huge because that is such a splashable engine for other cards. Yes, that is fairly limited inside the TCG, but for Duel Links, it is perfect. Very similar, evil hero Malicious Bane also requires 1 evil hero and 1 level 5 or higher monster. Obviously, they want you to use it with cards like Malicious Edge, which is an evil hero. They want you to use it with cards like Gainer and Prodigy. But what I do like about this card is that it also incorporates other cards you might already be running inside of heroes anyways. Cards like Malicious, which is level 6, or cards like Honest Neos, which is level 7. In addition to that, technically, if you really wanted to, if you're a mad lad, you could use the fusion monsters, which are generally level 6 to 8. And though I've already touched on it fairly briefly, I'd like to reiterate that the effect of its attack gaining is very much reminiscent of the other hero monsters. Things like Dread Decimator were actually a really big letdown when they were announced because of its GX era effect inside of 2018. Even in 2019, we were still getting heroes like Elemental Hero Grand Merge. Elemental Hero Grand Merge, as cool as it may be, unfortunately has a relatively useless battle phase effect. Sure, whenever you get that effect off, it's really sweet considering that ignores summoning condition. However, that's under the assumption that you are getting to the battle phase to begin with, if the card isn't negated, if the card isn't destroyed, if the card is bounced back to hand, whatever. Easy to say that Konami might be looking at heroes in a different light now with things like Destiny Hero Dominance and Evil Hero Malicious Bane. You can see that the steps that they've been taking to try to add on to heroes rather than these GX era 2009, 2010 effects. Even then, 2009, 2010 is probably generous. But regardless, the new direction that Konami seems to be taking with heroes is a welcome one, and I'm all for it. 3000 attack and 3000 defense is pretty sweet, but add that onto the fact that it has a, let's think it's a red hot it's the, wait, I got this. Don't tell me. It's the Red Dragon Archfiend or Red Hot Dragon Archfiend effect, whichever one it is, that destroys monsters with less attack points than itself. And I think it's really great that Konami added in the fact that this card can attack. It doesn't say this card can attack directly, the turn it activates its effect, blah, blah. And yes, only hero monsters can attack, but that's no big deal because this thing has 3000 attack points. That's a big body. Plus, we're assuming that you're also going to have maybe a Hero Link monster or other heroes out on the board already. Boosting this thing up with Honest Neos is going to be amazing. And actually, hold on. Oh my god. I just had a brain, this is live. This is, while in the middle of filming this, when I just mentioned the Honest Neos thing with boosting it for attacking, I'm not even thinking of the fact that, let's say the scenario where your opponent has a monster with larger than 3000, like 3,200 attack points, let's just say. Well, it doesn't say its original attack has to apply to that destruction effect. So you can boost it with Honest Neos during the main phase and then destroy cards with less than 5,500 attack points. What? Man, that's so sick. Wow. Huge brain. So the last thing I want to talk about in terms of the good things, it's summoning condition, and that is Dark Fusion. We all know that Dark Calling and Dark Fusion are the primary ways to summon out evil heroes, by using things from the graveyard to banish them with things like Dark Calling, or Dark Fusion, you have to use your hand and field, which, okay, we're gonna get to that. But the interesting thing is, and I don't necessarily think that a lot of people remember this, is that Dark Fusion actually has targeting protection for the turn that it's summoned. Dark Fusion states, in more clumsy terms, that the monster has targeting protection from monsters, spells, and traps. So things like Veiler and Impermanent will not affect this card. And that's super useful. In fact, it actually makes running Dark Fusion not sound so bad. And now onto the bad stuff. Number 1. Dark Fusion, and just about everything else. Look, we haven't quite seen all the support, if any, that evil heroes might be getting later on in the future. With this being the first card, we're in the very early experimental phases. But if I had something on my wish list, that would either be 1, a monster that searches out Dark Fusion or Dark Calling, or 2, a fusion card that lets you use materials from the deck. Something very similar to Fusion Destiny. And though I don't like Fusion Destiny, though you guys know my thoughts on Fusion Destiny, I would still take it over things like Dark Fusion and Dark Calling. Dark Calling might be a little bit better because you can set up your graveyard and use materials from there. But with Dark Fusion, it is an unsearchable fusion spell that requires you to have monsters on the field and your hand. This then requires you to minus on play to get out this monster, and so you'd have to capitalize extremely well, and if you don't, that sucks. Yes, I know it's 2019 and we have the Dragon Man that can search spells and fusions and whatever. We also have the Predaplan engine, which can search Dark Fusion, but that's just not reliable enough. And with the deck being so tight as it is for heroes, I don't think anyone realistically wants to run that. In things like Neos, it's fine because you can use Dragonic Magic for a fusion material for things like Brave Neos, or you can also have it search to your hand and use that card to get things from your deck. You don't have to use the cards in your hand, you don't have to use the cards on your field. So in that way, it's just slightly more forgivable. Speaking of Neos, evil heroes kind of remind me a lot of Neospatians. Because when you really think about it, the evil heroes are almost entirely separate from the rest of the hero category. Heroes over the years, especially now in 2018, 2019, 2020, they've adopted more of the Dark Hero, Dark Warrior, turboing out with Izzled back to Wizzled, two Tales of the Noble Knights. In addition to that, all the cards that make that deck good also, in a way, boost up heroes. Heroes have their own little things with like Dark Law and Anki and a little bit of the battle phase stuff. Heroes look to be more of a warrior focus and warrior centric deck. But with evil heroes, and Evil Hero Malicious Bane is no exception, all the monsters are Fiend type. So all the cards that would be Fiend type support don't really work with warriors. And all the cards that are warrior types don't necessarily work with evil heroes. There are certain cards like Shadow Mist or even Stratos that do search out the evil heroes and do meld well with that. Even things like Vion can send them to the graveyard to set up for Dark Calling. Now, if the evil heroes were all warriors, that'd be a different story. And that's not even to say that the evil heroes are... No, I'm about to say they're not that bad. They're unplayable. The cards don't necessarily run well inside of a modern Yu-Gi-Oh sense. Sure, they're fun to play with and they're fun to have a casual match with, but even then there's issues of consistency and synergy. And in a way, it's actually like the opposite of Fusion Destiny. With Fusion Destiny, you're using okay to decent monsters to get out bad fusion monsters. And with the evil hero archetype, you're using bad monsters to get out a pretty decent to okay fusion monster. It's kind of weird how that works. But overall, my final verdict for this card is that I do like it. I do like where it's going. The design of this makes me very hopeful for hero monsters going forward. That's all I gotta say about this card. What do you guys think of it? Let me know inside the comment section down below. I'm actually really excited for it. I hope you guys are too. Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? Do you guys think evil heroes will be viable later down in the future? We'll have to wait and see, in my opinion. But if we get better support, who knows? Maybe I'll turn into Supreme King Swolelax. But that's all I gotta say about it. What do you guys think of it? Let me know inside the comment section down below. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave it a like. If you want some more, please subscribe. More videos coming in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that if you want to. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.